Hi, everybody. Hello. There we go. So I feel like I just need to. Ooh, Four of Wands at the cut, but the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Okay, I don't know why this does this. I feel like I need to clarify for whatever reason. If you're new here, if you're recent here, so the reason why I put the date on like every single video is because last year at some time there would be times when like one video would remind me of another. And I would go back and try to find it. And I was like, I think it was around this time or that time. So it's a convenience thing, honestly, for me. That way, if I want to reference back anything, the date is on it, and I don't have to like click full into it to see the upload day or whatever. Even though the titles are long enough that I gotta click full into it to read the date at the end of the title. Um, that's why I put the dates on. I just watched Rustling Around's video about the Neptune Part 2 Sound Healing. Energetic Grid Work 2 Sound Healing Neptune with Matthias. It was gorgeous. And I remember there was a sound healing. One second. Oh, I thought I felt a card. I remember there was a sound healing that Russell did a few months ago. If not last year, I don't remember when. And there was like this divine feminine energy that was very like comforting and consoling in a way that all of the tears just like poof, right. It wasn't from me. Ew, that was disgusting. um it wasn't from me, it was just like what I felt, right. And it felt very like ancient Egyptian to me. And then there were these other tones of like it was like outside. So like that felt like more like divine feminine, divine mother. And then there was this almost futuristic set of tones that came in, and I was like, "Oh, that's the like divine masculine, divine father." I didn't know what he was doing. I'm like, because with her, it was like it felt like, oh, she's like, shoulder to cry on. And now she's showing up, and in the beginning of one of her videos, Miss Remy Healing mentioned that we're gonna be seeing what the divine masculine is up to. And I'm like, okay, like that's like not that I'm not like, I just like whatever isn't present, that's what usually draws my attention. I'm like, divine feminine is really coming through right now. What is divine masculine up to? Um, but by the end of the video, it I don't know if it was for me or if it was me or whatever, but it was almost this feeling of like it wasn't supposed to be like this. Like it wasn't supposed to be this hard. It wasn't supposed to be this dark. It wasn't supposed to be this um, challenging. But it's fine because eventually we'll come around and we'll know better, right? So anyway, that was gorgeous. I almost felt like crying by the end of it. um, Very interesting. And I was like, why can't I have a gorgeous soul like that? I was like, why am I so like mean and rude and abrasive? And I was like, you know what, Patrick, you're Patrick. Russ is Russ. Matthias is Matthias. It's fine. I know I can be gorgeous and beautiful too. I used to be. Until the Fire Nation attacked my birth chart. Then it's been all hot. Okay. Hmm. So I don't know what this is today. I already read it before I came live. Usually I wait to read it, but the reason why I tore it off is so I could put it in the thumbnail, but I forgot. Thank you, Mimi. I know. I'm doing pretty well. How are you? My vacation is in like a little over a week and I'm kind of nervous. It's in 10 days. I'm like, ooh, I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm excited as well. How are you doing? Okay. All right. All right. Ooh, I got the woozies today. The star just came out. And I feel like I've seen the star, but I know I haven't. Like I feel like I was expecting this card, but I don't know why. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords. Oh, the woozies. The woozies. I got the woozies. Thank you. You started looking for a car Friday. Oh, you start looking for a car Friday. That's exciting because it's been down for a minute, right? The Ten of Wands. This reminds me of the vice versa. And I guess I'll do it today. Bottom of the deck is the Hermit. This reminds me of the vice versa because in the back of the vice versa star, there's the statue. In the back of the Ten of Wands and the vice versa, there's the statue of the man. And I gotta go to the restroom. So I'm gonna do this first, and then I'll come back and do that video. So today, it says a wet May makes a big load of hay. And I don't know what that means. A wet May makes a big load of hay. But I read something recently, and it was like there's a saying to make hay while the sun shines or something like that. A wet May makes a big load of hay. What does that mean? What is this? That's on like it's a first quarter moon today. So the sun is in Taurus. So the moon is in Leo? Question mark. Oh, but it's about to go into Gemini. Sun goes into Gemini tomorrow, so we have that to look. Or is it tonight? Let's see. Let's see if you can tell me. It's tomorrow at like 2:29 ish, roughly p.m. Central Time. So what am I looking at? Oh, the moon. It should be in like Leo, right? Yep, the moon is in Leo. It's barely in Leo. Hey, Eve. It rained yesterday and it was raining earlier today. But I think it's stopped by now. My allergies today, I'm like, oh my gosh. I've been doing well. My body has been doing very well, adjusting to the constant flux in the weather. Usually it triggers my allergies. I'm good now. I had some iced coffee and apparently it cured me. Almost broke my tooth just now. A wet May makes a big load of hay. So this is going to be like nonsense. We're just going to pull a bunch of cards and then just do something because I don't know what this is. So we start with the Empress with the Five of Cups and the Seven of Cups, then the Tower and the Five of Wands, and then the Three of Wands, and then the Temperance card. The Empress, what's at the bottom of the deck? Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Cups. You just finished your Bald House cappuccino mocha drink. Ooh, you had to take a Benadryl nap last night. I know. Okay, Mimi. I know that like some people say that like Benadryl makes them drowsy. Some people say if they take too much Benadryl, it makes them loopy. Benadryl doesn't do anything for me, unfortunately. So it was just cloudy and breezy there. Okay. The Empress is a space of creation. Then we have the Five of Cups or the Seven of Cups. I don't know what this is today. A wet May makes a big load of hay. What does that even mean? Is anyone a farmer? Can anyone tell me what this means? Okay, so what I'm noticing in the Empress is the crown of stars. How many stars are there? Oh, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks like there's 13 stars. The star card came out before. Now, with the Five of Cups and the Seven of Cups, both of these typically have an energy. Makes grass grow. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. But it's like a dried grass, right? So it's like it makes this sopping wet mess. I mean, I guess if you cut it, it would be a sopping wet mess, and then you have to dry it out in the sun. I think that's why it said make hay while the sun shines or something like that. But it's like I just saw make hay while the sun shines. And now today it's like a wet May makes a big load of hay. So is it wet or is it dry? Like which is it? Thank you, Eve. And then we have this energy. So this is what usually with the Five of Cups and the Seven of Cups, they both can carry an energy of maybe not necessarily seeing it. But in this Five of Cups card, she's looking at the two cups. She isn't really doing anything about it, but at least she's looking in the right direction. And then the Seven of Cups is here with Gandalf going, "You're a wizard, Harry. Now take the ring to the mountain and drop it in the fire." And then we have the Tower and the Five of Wands. This is one of my favorite Tower cards because of the imagery of like where the light comes from. It feels like light enters a space and then it like blows the lid off of it. But with the Five of Wands, it feels like it can cause confusion. So then we come down to the Three of Wands with Temperance. And both of these are cards of waiting, can be cards of waiting. And it feels like there's something missing between the Three of Wands. Oh, now it looks like an umbrella, kind of. So the rain makes the grass grow, but you have to wait until it's dry to bale it up. Is it? Oh, snap. It looks like it is. Huh. Look at that. I can see that. It makes sense. So, but if this is a crown, it feels like it's about to like it feels like something is cooking, right? Like it feels like the fire is started and then the crown comes on and then something sort of simmers inside the tower. Maybe this light like or it's like a trash can. One of those trash cans where you step on it and it opens up and then it closes down. And if it's the trash can, then there's something that's released here. But this Five of Wands is here. So maybe we were already set to bale hay, to dry it, and then bale it. But then it rained more. And so while it's raining, all we can think about is the fact that, oh, great, now the hay isn't going to dry, rather than thinking about, like, oh, well, now we can get more hay, right? And then we can dry it all at the same time. A mini paddle set trash can in your room. Yeah, because it's like when it flipped up, I was like, but something is missing in this, right? Because we can tell that it's not even. And so if it comes down, there's going to be a gap there. It feels like we can leave the gap there. It's like, let the gap fill itself. Don't try to put anything in the gap. Leave the gap there. Okay. Because there's a gap between like the umbrella part. So I have like, I'll just take a picture and show you. It'd be easier that way. And then I can make it the thumbnail. Ooh. Let's see. Let's see. Let me turn my screen brightness down a little so you can see it. So this is how I have the cards right now. And there's a little bit of a gap there. And then it was just like, leave the gap. It'll fill itself in. So with the Three of Wands and the Temperance card, there's something that we feel like we're ready to move forward with. There's something that we feel, or from our perspective, we fulfilled all of the conditions to move forward and we're ready. But then we hit Temperance. It feels like something is going to fall into place. And again, I feel like I've been mentioning her a lot lately. Miss Remy Healings. Reem said in maybe the Pisces video, actually, somebody else might have said it too, that there's something that hasn't yet happened. It's the tower moment. I think Cindy from Awakening to Spirit mentioned it somewhere in one of her videos as well. That there's something that's going to happen that shifts or changes the direction of something, or that makes something more clear, but it hasn't happened yet. And so it's like wherever there's a space, it's important to leave that space open because now I don't even know if it's like something like it shouldn't work like this, but it's like if there's hay that we've like if there's grass that we've already cut that we set out to dry and then it rains and the grass that we've already cut grows and then it dries into more than what we originally had because we didn't sort of force it to we kept it in season. It's still in season. Even though, to us it may be like, okay, well, I guess it's not quite the summer yet. So we're still in that rainy sort of period. And so maybe there is a little bit of hastiness here. And it's interesting because the Three of Wands came out with the Four of Swords yesterday and the Queen of Wands, and it was an energy of like, it's okay to want things and we don't have to be so energetically detached from something that like our energy doesn't even read as wanting it anymore. And the Nine of Cups is here at the bottom of the deck. There's an energy here of delayed gratification, delayed satisfaction instead of instant gratification, because she's looking at the cup but she's not touching it. And I just saw a video as I was scrolling on my timeline. It was like 2-year-old destroys the self-control challenge, and the self-control challenge is, I guess, when you take somebody and you sit them down and then you sit something that they want in front of them and you don't say anything, right? And then it's like if they have self control, then they get more of the thing that they want. If they don't have self control, then they get the thing in the moment, but they don't get the more later. And it's almost that energy. And that's why temperance is coming down with this Three of Wands. It's like something is still growing, something is being made better, or it's like other pieces are still falling into place. Yeah, I saw the title for her. I know the Pisces one. I watched that yesterday as I biked a little bit. And she said the title was like, You Did It. And then I saw the Aries title. I haven't watched it yet, but it was like, This is Big or something like that. I was like, Ooh, okay. Divine Sunshine mentioned May 20th being a special date for something or beginning. It's Gemini season, and it's one of my friend's birthday. I count him as a Taurus. I wonder if he's a Taurus or a Gemini. He's a Cuspa. That's why it's like allow the gap to fill itself. Under this Nine of Cups is an Eight of Pentacles. Under the Eight of Pentacles is the Fool. This is such an interesting energy. The Fool and the Eight of Pentacles, this is a space of mastering something that doesn't yet exist, right? You listen to spirit, you follow your intuition, you sort of build something out, and it's like you become the first master. Usually for me, the Eight of Coins, Eight of Pentacles is a card of apprenticeship, but it's like you're not the novice, you're completing your sort of apprenticeship under a master. And then the Nine of Pentacles is when you have your own shop and you're making a name for yourself, you're building out your brand. And then the Ten of Pentacles is when you become your own master. But with the Fool card here, it's like you're in the space of this apprenticeship, but there isn't necessarily a physical person there. There isn't necessarily an established thing that you're doing. And so it's like you're creating something new in a way that is replicable or applicable to others. And again, it takes me back to that like X-Men, Xavier's School of the Gifted sort of energy, where it's like there's this space that isn't yet defined, but there's a meeting and a gathering of people in it. And first they sort of learn themselves and discover for themselves, and then they're positioned to sort of help guide. I don't know why a tune just popped into my mind. To help guide, attune others. Now, the others that they help guide and attune, again, it's like they may not necessarily follow a path that is exactly theirs. And so it requires a special type of teacher. This is the type of teacher who pays attention to their students. And when they have a student that learns things in a different way, they're able to recognize that. And they're also able to teach in a different way or to refer them somewhere else rather than giving them a label and sort of just leaving them to figure it out by themselves. So the three majors here, it's the Empress, the Tower, and Temperance. What? I've never noticed this funky, weird water magic. You see how it's curved? It's curving around that golden heart space, though. So it feels like that golden heart space, it creates this electromagnetic field that it's like it polarizes and anti-polarizes the water in some way so that it flows around it. And there's a balance in attraction and repulsion in that, because it's like it has to be attracted enough to sort of like flow here. If it's repulsed too much, it's just gonna like go everywhere, it's gonna splatter. But then when it comes down here, or it's like maybe the cups and the heart are all sort of like magnetized, and this is a charged stream of water. Water is typically, well, like, good water, not good water. It's like pH neutral, right? So like it's as positively charged as it is negatively charged. When you get basic water, it's more negatively charged. You have more hydroxide ions floating around. When it's positively charged, you have more hydrogen ions floating around. But the H plus and the OH minus, they cancel each other out. Now, water, even when it is like the H2O molecule, because of how it's structured, the oxygen head carries it's a slightly negative charge, and the hydrogen tails or whatever carry a slightly positive charge because the oxygen is a lot more electronegative. So the hydrogen and the oxygen share electrons, but more often than not, the electrons are by the oxygen atom rather than the hydrogen atoms. That's why they get that slight polarity within them. It's like a pseudo polarity, even if overall the molecule is neutral. But it feels like there's something. What would that be? It's like a hydration shell, but it's the opposite. There's something that causes the atoms, the molecules of H2O within this body of water to align in a certain way to establish a charge, even though it's neutral. And so maybe it's repulsed on the inside but attracted on the outside. So like, oh, I just charged this. Let's go. I haven't taken these classes in a minute. Some of these classes I took a long time ago because it took me a while to graduate. But I will attempt to illustrate for you what it is looking at like. And I just charged this thing. I was like, I want to use this more. I hardly ever use this. How this applies, I don't know. I don't know how anything applies. I just say stuff and then things happen. I receive, I speak, things happen. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what that meant. Are we in tablet mode? Okay. OneNote. Oh. Can I make a new page, please? Add page. There we go. So it's like this. We have this thing. Let's just yin yang it. And then we have this. So this is plus. This is minus. So, oh gosh. It's repelled here. And it's attracted here. This is extremely hasty. These plus signs don't even. This is what it's feeling like. If you can see that. I gotta turn down. Oh, you can see it. So let me turn the brightness down. It's a low yin yangy. The reason why it's yin yang on the inside rather than just a straight positive or straight negative charge is because it changes, quite simply. And so the stream of water will change as well. You see that? I should have made it bolder. What was that 3? Hold up. Indulge me. Okay. Let's go. I can make this. I have different ink colors, so let's use them. This is not thick enough. We gotta scroll down. There we go. Bear with me one moment, please. I hope this makes sense. It might not, and I'm okay with that. I am perfectly fine if this doesn't make sense. Okay. So you see her a little. You see her golden heart thingy and the water flowing around it. So the green is like positive, the black is negative. I can't even see. All right, there you go. So we have this. Oh, let me put this in here because that'll help. Oh, I gotta go to the restroom. I gotta use the restroom. Plus. Okay. So you have the positive and the negative. Now, inside, it's constantly in motion. So, on the inside of the stream of water, it's repelled and that pushes it out. But on the outside of the stream of water, it's attracted and that brings it back in. And so, what it does is it finds that space where the attractive, it's like if it's here, then it does all this like weird stuff where the inside tries to move outside and the outside tries to move inside if it's too close to that rotating positive negative center. And so it finds the distance where those forces are balanced, where this surface of the water is as far as it can be or it's comfortable being from the similarly charged internal, and that the external is as far as it can be without just like pulling it in to the oppositely charged internal. And I feel like I've seen that before. I guess the specific context doesn't matter. But usually, yeah, that happens whenever you have something in a fixed position and it is in proximity to something of that is charged, right? So, like, if it was negatively charged, usually it's the opposite. And the positively charged pieces will be on the inside because that's how they migrate because they're closer. They want to be closer to the negative, and the negative will go on the outside because they want to be like repulsed, right? But it's different here because the water isn't like it's not in a container, it's free flowing. And if that were to happen, then it's like the water molecules would split themselves apart, right? All the hydrogens would like be plucked off like grapes off the vine, and they would go flying into the heart, and then the oxygen would just go shooting out into the universe. And maybe it's also the nature of this continuously like positive, negative, internal yin yang sort of spin thing that keeps that from happening. There's something that's like it's a fairly delicate balance here. I don't know where that thing went. I'll just put this here so I don't lose it. And that it's kind of sort of again this energy of like a delayed satisfaction rather than an instant gratification. Oh look, we see it here too. There's the 9 or the 8 cups around the 1 cup in the middle. So there's something about like the stream of water that have some kind of shape and formation around something centralized. But it feels like we're trying to complete the circle. And so what this angel does is it's like she starts with, yeah, the gap. Oh, that's the gap. The gap has been oh, look. And remember how I laid the cards out? I'll show you the picture again. Okay, I should have just. Oh, I gotta go to the restroom. Somebody's gonna be in the bathroom. Even here, it's like in the picture. There's these cards at the top around these two in the bottom. And so, yeah, I just like, oh my gosh, thank you. I see my brain is all over the place. But it feels she's like she's maneuvering. Like this cup is stationary, and the other cup, and like this is the heart, like my face is the heart space, right? And so it feels like she's doing this to move the water, but she's gonna bring it back up and then like close the cups together. Closing the cups together, that's this energy with the crown coming onto the tower. But what it does is it creates this circle of water around the heart space. And when that circle of water is complete, it feels like one of the bodies comes online. I don't know which body it is. I don't know. Energetic, etheric, light, some other body. But that requires a sort of balancing of our own internal polarities. And it requires an ability. It's this, and this. It requires us to be able to navigate these and to not be so attracted that we get sucked into it and consumed by it, but not to be so repulsed that we sort of shoot off into the universe and just go wherever, whenever. And it's around like the zenith point of this, I guess the two cups, or one of the cups, would be the Empress. It's- and it's like she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes, right? As this other cup sort of like flows around. And then it's like she caps it. It's like, and then after here, then you snap them together. And it makes me think of what Russell is doing right now with trying to get the water to flow from Neptune. Neptune, the god of water, it's like, why is he so dry? Right? And it's almost like with humans being the emotional creatures that we are, with the moon having as much of a pull and influence on us as it does because we have so much water. It's almost like you would think that we would be able to flow easier or something like that. You would think that there wouldn't be so much difficulty. It might be iced. It may be frozen over. Both of these are scorpionic energies. This is the first and the third decan of Scorpio. I don't know who the planetary ruler of these decans is, but that's the first and the third decan of Scorpio. It's fixed water. That's why it can't flow. That's why the tower is coming out. It's like the tower is coming out to bust up the ice. And then this first decan of Leo, Five of Wands energy, is coming out to thaw them. So it's almost like you have this brick of ice, and what it's doing is it's going to break it up and it's going to position the pieces around here and then it's going to start to melt them because it'll be easier to sort of establish that flow instead of like melting the solid block and then trying to do that. Also, what temperance is doing is it's creating a channel. It's like irrigation. Oh, whoo, at the end of the video, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it got me. I was like, whoo. Scorpio, Scorpio, and Scorpio Pisces. And it reminds me of the part that came out by the Keeper in Iski, or ISK1. Because in ISK1, it was the Three of Swords, or around the Keeper. It was the Three of Swords and the Magician. And it was like there are these holes in our manifestation, or there are these holes in our experience. There are these moments of like disconnect. But as it warms up, then it's like, depending on how, like if it's face up, depending on if gravity is present or not. Like if it's a column of water and it's like standing up, then gravity will pull it down. So the top one will bleed into the middle one, and the middle one will bleed into the bottom one. I need to cut my nails. Sorry. But if it's laying flat and gravity isn't a factor, then it's like they can sort of melt together. And that's why we allow the gap to be closed, because it's like if we put anything in the gap, then it'll prevent these two bodies of water from connecting. It's very isthmus, right? I think, or is it a, or is that a straight? Actually, it might be a straight. Is it an isthmus or a straight? Isthmus. Oh, I gotta go to the restroom. ISTHMUS. Yeah, it is an isthmus. It's this isthmus energy. Can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? I guess this is close enough. An isthmus is a narrow piece of land with like two bodies of water on the side, right? But it's like those bodies of water are trying to connect. And so it's like if we try to fill in the gaps, then it erects these like these areas where the water doesn't flow. And so what we can do is like we sort of dig out the isthmus a little bit so that the fish symbol, so fish in Greek is like ik, ichthyus maybe, or ichthys, because I know like an ichthyologist is a fish scientist. Ichy, ichthyosis. What's ichthyosis? A group of skin disorders characterized by dry, scaly, or thickened skin, like fish scales. Ichthys. Yeah. The ichthys, or ichthys from the Greek ichthys, is a symbol of the crossing. Yeah. That's ichthys. So it's like we can dig out a piece of the isthmus. We can dig out a piece of the isthmus and then bridge it if we want to. So then, like, the water can flow under it, and then we have this bridge to cross if we still need to cross it. But it's like it needs to be this ring of water, almost like a moat. It's a moat. We're digging out a moat. Temperance is using some kind of water magnet magic to create a moat around that heart space. And it's not a moat in a protective way necessarily. It's like a moat in a, I don't know, something like that body of water. It charges what's inside of it. Ooh, that sounds like homework. I remember, who was I watching? Oh, it was that video. Miss Reem was like, "So you got homework?" I said, "Homework." Ooh, I got triggered as soon as she said triggered. As soon as she said homework, I was triggered. I was like, "Oh, not homework." Flashbacks to school. I already got my degree. I'm done. I'm better on tests than I am with homework. I'm just like, oh, you want? Yeah, me too. What would you have in your moat? I would have uh unicorn, crocodile, dragon, fairy fish. I'm just playing. But it's like something about the water here. It's like it charges what's inside of it somehow. It's almost like a battery. It's almost like a battery because of the tension that's stored within it. Like what is outside wants to get inside, what's inside wants to be outside, but they're held in place. And so it's like it creates this energy of potential. And it's that potential that charges it. And it's this constantly positive, negative, spinning, whirling thing on the inside that causes the outside to sort of churn as well. And it's very like hydroelectric energy. The inside is doing this flippy thing, the outside is doing this like cycling thing, and it stores up energy. And then what's inside, like this heart space inside, can tap into the potential stored in those energies. It's like a battery. Yeah, and it powers some body. I don't know what body it is. Some probably energetic body. It's that constant motion inside and outside that powers something. Maybe it powers up the Empress because the Empress is what's sitting at the top, right? Like this, maybe. I don't know. So a little bit of anticipation is a good thing. A wet May makes a big load of hay. There we go. You're going to say koi and angelfish. Sea glass. Ooh, gators or koi? Can't decide. Why? Gators and koi. Why not? Okay. So that's what I got. I'm going to go to the restroom and then I'm going to try to remember that thing I said I do and do it. So I'll catch y'all later. Thank you for being here. I will. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that when you come to a moment where you need to allow a gap to be a gap, that you allow things to melt and flow as they need to. And or you can like dig something out so that the water connected and make a bridge, build a bridge, get over it. I don't know. All right.